Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to Listen and Learn English. I'm John.
And I'm Sarah. How are you all today? We're thrilled to be here with you.
Today, we're diving into the United States presidential debate held between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. But before we begin, here are a few interesting facts about the U.S. presidential election process. Did you know that the upcoming general election on November 5, 2024, will be the 60th presidential election in the U.S.? It's quite a historic moment.
Yes. In the American system, a president can only serve 2 terms, with each term lasting 4 years. The 2 major political parties are the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. They each select their candidates to run for president, and these nominees must take part in open debates to present their vision for the country.
That's right, Sarah. This year, President Joe Biden from the Democratic Party announced his candidacy. The first debate took place at CNN's historic Techwood Campus Studio D in Atlanta, Georgia. The debate between Mr. Biden and Mr. Trump was held on June 27, 2024. Mr. Biden faced difficulties countering Trump's arguments. Due to his age and health, the Democratic Party chose to nominate Vice President Kamala Harris as the candidate.
Exactly. The second debate between Trump and Kamala Harris took place in Philadelphia, a city with deep historical significance for America. It's known as the birthplace of the United States, where both the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution were crafted.
Another interesting detail is that the debate was conducted by ABC News, the news division of the American television network, owned by the Walt Disney Company, and it was held under strict rules. There was no live audience, and no props or pre-written notes were allowed. The candidates couldn't interact with their staff during breaks.
They had only 2 minutes to answer each question and 1 minute for rebuttals. When their time was up, their microphone was muted. Green lights on the podium indicated when the microphone was on, and once they turned off, so did the microphone. This ensured that no one could interrupt the other while speaking.
Another interesting fact is that they did a coin flip to decide certain privileges. Trump won the toss and chose to give the final statement, leaving Harris to pick her position on stage.
That's right. Kamala Harris chose the left side podium on the stage, which would appear on the right side of your TV screen.
One more unique moment was when Kamala Harris walked over to shake hands with Trump. It was the first time since 2016 that 2 U.S. presidential candidates have shaken hands.
Yes, and she even introduced herself to Trump, saying, "Kamala Harris, let's have a good debate." Trump replied, "Nice to see you, let's have fun," and then they shook hands.
The debate covered key issues like immigration, economic policy, abortion, and foreign policy.
Really interesting. So, with all these details in mind, let's jump into our discussion, where we will break down few of their arguments and learn English through their debates.
Sarah, before that, let's first go over a few vocabulary terms and phrases we just discussed. Otherwise, we might forget them as we continue. The first word is rebuttal. Just watch this sentence we have discussed. The candidates get only 2 minutes to answer and 1 minute for rebuttals. A rebuttal means a counter-argument. For example, in a debate, if someone disagrees with a point, they might give a rebuttal. Example sentence using rebuttal is, Sarah's rebuttal was strong and well-reasoned. In other words, we can say, her counter-argument was strong and well-reasoned. Another example is, the lawyer gave a convincing counter-argument during the trial. Or we can say, the lawyer gave a convincing rebuttal during the trial.
The next word I want to present is podium. We've mentioned it several times. For example, Kamala Harris chose the left side podium on the stage. Trump got the privilege of choosing the podium placement. A podium is a raised platform where someone stands to speak, like during debates or presentations. Here are a couple of example sentences using the word podium. The speaker stepped up to the podium to address the audience. She delivered her speech confidently from the podium.
Now let's talk about coin flip, which also means coin toss. It refers to tossing a coin to make a decision. In this case, Trump won the coin flip and got to choose the final statement. And lastly, one phrase, so did the microphone. Watch this sentence. When the green light turned off, so did the microphone. This means that when the green light goes off, the microphone also turns off at the same time. Example sentence. When the store closes, so do the lights. This means, when the store closes, the lights also switch off. Another example, if she leaves, everyone else leaves too, or we can say, if she leaves, so does everyone else.
Great explanations. Now let's break down the arguments from both Trump and Harris and learn English through their debates.
Sarah, let's start with Trump's commanding presence. He stood strong and confident during the debate. You could see how he captured everyone's attention when he spoke.
That's true, John. But Harris also had a very poised delivery. She was calm, confident, and didn't let the pressure of the debate shake her.
Yes, I agree. But Trump was very clear on border security. He stressed that protecting the borders is essential for national safety. His focus on building a wall to keep out illegal immigrants was a key part of his message.
I see your point, but Harris talked about inclusion, ensuring equal rights for all, regardless of race or background. She emphasized that America should welcome diversity.
That's an important topic, but Trump's America First policy was another strong point. He believes the U.S. should prioritize its own people and interests before helping other countries.
I get that, but Harris focused on healthcare for all. She promised to make healthcare affordable for everyone, which is a huge issue in America. She wants to make sure every patient should get medical treatment without worrying about the cost.
Now, again, let's go over a few vocabulary terms and phrases we just discussed. The first one is commanding presence. Commanding presence means being in control and drawing attention. An example is: the general had a commanding presence, and the entire room fell silent when he walked in. And another example is: her commanding presence during the meeting showed that she was in control of the situation.
The second one is poised delivery. Poised delivery means staying calm and speaking clearly, even under stress. Example sentences are: even though the crowd was large, the speaker's poised delivery kept the audience calm and engaged. Her poised delivery during the press conference impressed everyone, despite the difficult questions.
The third one is border security. Border security means protecting a country's borders from illegal entry. People from countries like Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and even places as far away as China or India, often try to enter the U.S. illegally. They mainly enter through the southern border. Opponents of illegal immigration are concerned it may lead to increased crime and fewer jobs for Americans. They are also worried about higher costs for healthcare and schools due to overpopulation from illegal entry. This was a key point Mr. Trump emphasized in his debate.
The fourth one is inclusion. Inclusion means making sure everyone is treated equally and fairly. The fifth one is race. Race refers to categorizing people based on physical characteristics like skin color, hair type, or facial features. The terms Asian, African, and European are examples of races. On the other hand, racism means treating someone unfairly or differently because of their race or skin color. In the U.S., minority groups like African Americans, Hispanic and Latino Americans, Asian Americans, and even Native Americans often face systemic racism in areas such as policing, education, housing, and employment. So, Kamala Harris emphasized inclusion in her debate.
Great! Through this podcast, listeners are not only learning English, but also gaining many insights about the U.S. Let's continue the discussion. Trump also talked about economy first. He argued that a strong economy will help create more jobs and opportunities for everyone. He's known for supporting businesses.
Harris didn't ignore the economy either. She spoke about supporting small businesses, which is important for local communities. Helping small companies grow means more jobs for regular people.
That's fair, but Trump's pro-business focus is broader. He talked about giving companies more freedom to grow, which he says will create jobs and boost the economy.
Harris took a more diplomatic approach when discussing international issues. She wants to work with other countries peacefully to solve problems like climate change.
And Trump was tough on China, emphasizing that the U.S. needs to be strict with trade policies to avoid being taken advantage of. His tough stance on China definitely resonated with people who worry about unfair business deals.
Harris also focused on the future with her commitment to clean energy. She talked about investing in solar and wind power to reduce pollution and protect the environment.
While clean energy is important, Trump was more focused on energy independence. He believes America should produce its own energy, so it doesn't have to rely on other countries.
I noticed that too, but Harris's approach to affordable housing was powerful. She promised to make homes more affordable, so more people could have a place to live.
Trump, on the other hand, talked about supporting law enforcement and making sure the police have what they need to keep the country safe. He made it clear that he stands with the police.
That's a point many people care about. But Harris was also strong on defending democracy and making sure everyone's right to vote is protected.
A good point, but Trump's promises of lower taxes will appeal to people who want to keep more of their earnings and believe it will help businesses grow.
And Harris's plan to help affordable education will resonate with families who struggle with expensive college fees.
Now, let's go over a few vocabulary terms and phrases we just discussed. The first one is pro-business. Pro-business means policies that help businesses succeed and expand. An example is: the new government introduced pro-business policies to encourage investment and boost the economy. Another example is: her pro-business view attracted support from big companies wanting fewer rules.
The second one is diplomatic approach. Diplomatic approach means solving problems by talking and cooperating, not fighting. Example sentences are: he used a diplomatic approach to resolve the conflict between the two countries peacefully. Using a diplomatic approach helps find solutions that work for both sides.
The third one is energy independence. Energy independence indicates producing enough energy in your own country, so you don't need to buy it from others. An example sentence is: the country aims for energy independence by investing in renewable resources like wind and solar power. Another example is: achieving energy independence would reduce the need to rely on foreign oil imports.
The fourth one is law enforcement. Law enforcement refers to the police and other officials who make sure laws are followed. Example sentences are: law enforcement officers were quick to respond to the emergency, ensuring public safety. The government promised to increase funding for law enforcement to help fight crime.
Great, Sarah. So far, we've discussed various topics from the presidential debate between former US President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris to improve our English skills. Actually, it was a 90-minute debate. They covered a wide range of issues and shared their vision for the future of the United States. If we go into every detail, this video will get too long, and our listeners might lose focus. So, let's wrap it up with a conclusion.
John, at least let's mention the other points they discussed to enrich our listeners' understanding.
Okay. Trump emphasized his strong leadership image. Focused on national security. Promised to tackle inflation. Talked about restoring global respect. Criticized media bias. Discussed immigration reforms. Focused on job creation. Talked about bringing back American values. And was tough on crime. He didn't miss a chance to criticize the current Joe Biden administration.
Well, on the other side, Harris highlighted climate change as a priority, advocated for women's rights, emphasized restoring trust in government, supported inclusive governance, proposed a stronger social safety net, rejected division, pushed for criminal justice reforms, worked across party lines, and supported immigration reform.
If our listeners are interested in hearing more about these topics, please mention it in the comments section, and we'll make a separate video.
All right, John. But did both candidates clearly present their vision to the people? What was the public's response? And who do you think will be the next leader of the United States?
Well, Sarah, both candidates certainly made their points clear. But the public response was divided, as always. Trump's supporters appreciated his focus on security and the economy, while Harris resonated with people who valued inclusivity and social issues. As for who will become the next leader, it's up to the people of the United States to decide through their votes. It's an exciting and unpredictable time in politics.
So, listeners, we'll have to wait until November 5th, 2024, to find out who the next president of the United States will be. The winner will be inaugurated on January 20th, 2025, as the 47th President of the United States.
We hope you found this session both informative and helpful for improving your English. Remember, practice makes perfect, so subscribe to our channel for more content like this.
And don't forget to hit the bell icon and select all to get notified when we post new videos.
Like, comment, share, and show your support. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, it's goodbye from John
and Sarah. Happy learning!